All right. Well, if it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Ow! What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for stopping through. Jay Hunter Lee here. Jay Hunter Lee here. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. And guys, give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Folks, y'all know I had to go back and get the hanky. Come on, man. I always got to get the hanky, folks. You know I got to be in on point. I got to be in order. Y'all know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for coming in today. Got some important information I do want to share with y'all. Got my hair all over there, make sure my ties, and I am centered. I don't even have to adjust the camera. So I'm glad of that. Trying to get my other, I'm having a little technical challenges for some reason tonight, folks. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to start replacing some equipment or not. I hope not right now. I got things I got to get done. But this is why, I'll explain this stuff, equipment stuff at the end of the podcast. But check it out. I want to first thank you guys for stopping through. We do this every Monday evening at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk with Jay Hunter Lee. I am Jay Hunter Lee, and I want to thank you guys for stopping through. But before we get into it, I want you guys to please do me a favor. I'm going to forget about this piece of equipment over here because it's not acting right. Okay. We can still do the podcast. This is just another set of eyes for me over here, but I'm not going to even worry about it. It is what it is. But folks, do me a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe. Those of you who are on YouTube, I want to thank those who's watching on Twitch right now. Twitch folks, thank you for stopping through. I want to thank those who are watching on YouTube as well. Excuse me, and those who are on LinkedIn, thank you guys for stopping through. And of course, all my Facebook family, of course, always a pleasure. Thank you guys for stopping through also. Had some information with you guys. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I did a podcast on electric cars. Do they really save the planet? And the electric cars is something, a couple of companies I was looking at to include in the project. Some of you already know about that we're doing overseas. And with that, I kind of fell back from the electric cars for two reasons. One, they require lithium, and it's two, they require cobalt. And if you guys remember the podcast I did, I showed you where lithium, they need 60 tons of lithium, which requires 30 million tons of earth. So there are craters in the world, around the world, to produce these lithiums. And these lithiums are being transported by diesel trucks, right? So with that being said, they can't do too much to help the environment because we have diesel engines still, which is not going anywhere, regardless of how many electric cars they make. So with that being said, the earth is being demolished. When I say demolish, I'm really serious about saying, when I say demolish, I'm talking about demolition style. 20-story deep craters in the earth in certain parts of the world. Give a quick shout out to my Tink right here. Thank you, Tink, for stopping through here. I really appreciate you. Always a pleasure. So with that being said, let me set my camera back a little bit. There we go. So with that being said, folks, what I'm explaining to you is I had to back out of it. Then cobalt is another thing that's required for these electric cars. And I explained to you that China owns 15 out of 19 cobalt mines in the country of Congo. And they have the minor children of Congo working in dangerous conditions in those mines. China is doing this, right? So I talked to one of my clients I'm gonna tell you who it is, but they're royal. They're one of the royal family members overseas. Royal family. Now, when I say royal family, I'm talking billions and trillions of net worth for a family. Billions and trillions, right? So with that being said, I spoke to them today and told them why I kind of backed off from the electric cars, because I did not feel that they were really, after my research, I did not see them really making an impact on the planet. And I don't like the fact that they're in Congo using children for slave labor to produce in those cobalt mines. So what he explained to me was, no, brother, we don't deal with China. We can produce our own lithium. We already have our own cobalt mines. We Muslim, we don't believe slavery. I said, okay, well, I do that part. But I said, I didn't know that this royal family already had these materials. Did not know that. So he let me know that. So now I'm going to be contacting these electric cars companies again tomorrow, because that's the only way I will support that. The way my research have shown it's totally different than what I've been told by one of the royal family members I spoke to. So with that being said, folks, I still don't believe electric cars will save the planet. I just think that it's going to be ups and downs, going to be pros and cons in using them. Like your highest electric bill, because you got to have a charging station in your house, in your garage for them. Your electric bill is going to double, probably triple, because it takes a lot of hours to charge a car. Imagine charging your car overnight. Ooh, you're talking about a whole vehicle. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. But this podcast is not about that. I want you guys to revisit that podcast. I did it a couple of weeks ago. Those of you who are watching me on YouTube and Twitch, you can go back to my previous videos a few weeks ago. That's titled "Where Electric Cars Really Save the Planet." Just go back and check that out. I did put a lot of good information in there. Okay, but that's not what we want to talk about today. I just wanted to give y'all that little update on what I got going on. So I got that going on. I got builders that I'm still in contact with. So we trying to close these. See, once we close these deals, my project is taking off. Multi-billion-dollar project. Once these deals, I'm working on these deals, trying to get these people to close with the royal family. Once that happens, we're done. We're good. And I'm also back in class. So you guys know I graduated back in February. February, early March in cybersecurity. I'm back in class now to get another certification called Security Plus, because I didn't get it. So guess what? I'm going back to school before I can finish that up. I think I'll be finished this class in about another couple of 2 to 3 weeks, maybe. I'm thinking. I'll probably go ahead and take the exam late August, sometime in September. Get that so that I can secure some cybersecurity contracts. You guys see my logo up there called Security Hack. So I already got my cybersecurity firm. I want to get some certifications so I can be what you call verified or official when I go out for these contracts. So I'm very excited with where I am. I'm extremely busy, and I take a lot of time out to come and talk to you guys every week on our Monday Motivational Power Talk. Or if we don't do it on that Monday, I find another day throughout the week to have a conversation with y'all. So this week, before we get started, I want to introduce y'all to my drink for today. It is lemonade, organic lemonade. Now, where did I get this lemonade, folks? I got this lemonade from Aldi's. How many of y'all shop at Aldi's? I see a lot of rich people in Aldi's, and I'm gonna tell you something. I know a lot of rich people. I don't live far from this island called Terra Verde. Terra Verde have nothing but mansions and beautiful million dollar homes over there. Yeah, someone just said they like Aldi. That's right. I'm telling you, Aldi's is it. Love Aldi's, folks. So I know plenty of people. I know some people that live over in Terra Verde, and a lot of them folks be coming over to Aldi's, folks. I'm telling you. You need to start thinking and shopping like the rich folks. They're not trying to bling bling. They ain't trying to go buy the most expensive stuff. They'll get organic stuff that costs like, this lemonade cost me like $1.29 for the whole container. $1.29 for this lemonade. You see what I'm saying? They got almond milk down there that's like $1 and something. I'm telling you, folks, you need to learn how to shop like the rich folks. You think because people millionaires, they go buy all the expensive stuff? They're not buying anything expensive unless it's an asset. Unless it's an asset or a toy, like a Lambo or something like that. Yeah, it's like Save-A-Lot, but it's organic. That is correct. It's like Save-A-Lot, but it's organic. They got salmon and big salmon. I mean, they got a lot of stuff. You guys need to check Aldi's out. Don't sleep on Aldi's. I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on Aldi's. I promise you. So, yeah, this is my drink for the evening. Lemonade, a cool, refreshing drink. But folks, let's get into our discussion for this evening. This evening, I should not be hurting any feelings. I should not be rubbing anybody the wrong way, but I do love the truth. I'm addicted to the truth. This is why I read a lot. This is why I do a lot of studying. And when I can't read, I don't have time to read, guess what I'm doing? I'll pull it up on my Fire Stick and listen to it or watch it as a documentary. Because a lot of stuff that I know and read, I can pull up on documentaries too, okay? Twitch is an app you guys need to download. TWITCH. Look up Twitch. Okay, download it on your Fire Stick, download it on your phones. I'm airing right now. I'm live right now on Twitch. So those who's watching on Twitch, who follows me, they can see me live as I'm talking right now to you guys on Twitch as well, just as well as YouTube. So get Twitch, folks. There's a lot of good information on Twitch that you're not going to find in the mainstream media. You just not. Okay, it is what it is. So I want to talk to you guys about the season we're in. This is hurricane season, okay? I call it hurricane preparedness season. Why do I call it hurricane preparedness season? Because every time people use to just leave it at hurricane season, they automatically give the hurricane the victory. No, hurricane preparedness season, depending on you. You see, when you say hurricane season, it's depending on what the hurricane do. I call it hurricane preparedness season because you have to operate the 3 Ps. What are the 3 Ps, folks? Predict, prepare, persevere. I'm going to repeat the 3 Ps again. Predict, prepare, persevere. Okay. Now, Why are you going to predict it? Well, we know we're in hurricane season, so expect some hurricanes, even if they don't come, right? Um, there's a saying that I heard once from one of my mentors always said all the time, where he says, uh, I'd rather be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So we'd rather be prepared and not have a hurricane than to have a hurricane and not be prepared. So that's why the first P is predict. You got to predict that there's going to be one. You have to prepare for that one, and then you're going to persevere. See, you can't persevere if you don't have a preparedness first. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about hurricane preparedness season. All right, and I do have a little cheat sheet here. I kind of went through a little class today. A gentleman gave a little presentation on it, and I said some things that I want to share with you. Some things you might not even think about, but I want you to keep it with you. Now, let me share with you. People think because it's Florida get, oh, you in Florida, you're gonna get a lot more hurricane. Guess what? Last year, New York got hit hard. Where is New York? All the way up the top. Washington, D.C. is 4 hours from New York. Washington, D.C. gets hit with them too. They don't get hit with them unless people houses flying down the street or floating in the water. Not like that, but it don't have to be that bad for people to lose their lives in a hurricane, folks. Hurricanes also spud out tornadoes. Tornadoes can hit anywhere, right? Also keep in mind that you on the East Coast, you basically on the waterline. You basically on that just offshore, right? So hurricanes are powerful. You don't have to be a Hurricane 5 for it to be dangerous. A Hurricane 1 can be dangerous. A Hurricane 1 is strong enough to knock a tree limb over and fall on you, fall on your house, fall on your car. You guys understand what I'm saying? So where am I going? We got to prepare regardless. I want to say hello to Nuri. Thank you for coming in, Nuri. I really appreciate it. Please stick around. I got some info for you. So you still got to prepare, folks. So let's execute the 3 Ps. Predict, prepare, persevere. Okay? Now, I have a little cheat sheet, like I said. I'm going to go over some things with you guys. I'm going to throw some little ideas on there, a little philosophy with it, okay? And then you can take it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. So now, those of you who are up in the north, don't think that you're exempt because you're in the north. Don't think you're exempt because you're in the north. Because guess what? If you're in the Midwest, guess what? Their tornadoes are hit out there. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to go over can be the same for a tornado. Okay. Now the first thing I want to recommend, I don't see it on this list. The first thing I highly recommend you guys to do first is to find out what is your zone, evacuation zone. Are you A, B, C, or whatever? I think the higher the letter, the more severe, the more of the emergency. So if you're a hurricane, if you're evacuation zone A, that means as soon as a hurricane is close, you're the first ones that have to go. Now the zones are measured according to the severity of an attack of a hurricane. Tests, of course, has been done. Studies has been done of this, so they know wherever you live. Make sure you find out where the weather hotline or hurricane hot. If you're in Florida, there may be a hurricane hotline. If you're up north, DC, New York, the Carolinas, right, Georgia, all of that coming up that Atlantic coast. Find out what those numbers are. Put those numbers. Get a magnet and put those numbers up on your refrigerator. Call those numbers. Okay, call those numbers. Find out what your zone is, and then find out where are you to evacuate to. That's important. Some people may have to evacuate to a stadium, depending on where you are. Some people might have to evacuate to a hotel nearby. I remember when Hurricane Irma came here back in like 2017. I was living, over in Seminole, Florida. I know people had to go to a nearby hotel, the Holiday Inn, which is a brand new hotel. People was over there, and guess what? I went over there and volunteered to help those people. What you need? Do you need give them a ride to the store? Because the Walmart that was right in the same parking lot was closed at the time. So I said, where do you need to go? I was trying to volunteer. I wanted to help people because I was in a zone where we did not have to. I think my zone was like D, I think. So I wasn't in the evacuation zone. But down here in Florida, there are a lot of trailer parks. If you live in a trailer, I think that's automatic A zone, right? So you have to get out of there because mobile home is not going to withstand no hurricane. You guys got to just, you guys know that. So a lot of people was living in those mobile homes that had to evacuate to a nearby hotel. And I was there to assist any way I can. All right. So that's one thing you want to do is make sure you got a phone number to a weather hotline or hurricane hotline or something to find out what zone you're in, one, and two, where do you evacuate? If you had to evacuate, where are you going? You want to try to avoid trying to leave town. And I'm going to tell you why. If you try to avoid leaving town, there are a lot of people and their grandmothers going to try to do this. And I'm not telling you not to. If you want to leave town, get on an airplane, fly out of here. But if you're trying to pack up your vehicles with a trailer or camper behind you, I'm going to tell you one thing, you're going to get stuck in traffic and you're going to get caught in a hurricane. You guys know that. That's just logical, right? That's logic. That's common knowledge. So, along with what I'm sharing with you right now, put your money aside. Get you some emergency money so that you can take you and your family to an airport if you want to leave town. There's nothing wrong with leaving town. I won't suggest trying to drive out of town. Go to the airport, folks. Get on the plane. Get you some emergency money. Put some emergency money to the side for hurricane preparedness season and for any other emergency that can come up. So make sure you have some emergency money set aside. Okay. You want to make sure you have a go bag. A small go bag, large go bag, doesn't matter. Make sure you have a go bag. And by the way, I apologize for just doing this video in August because hurricane season actually started June 1st. So I apologize. There's a lot going on. I've been busy doing stuff. But guess what? The hurricanes typically don't even start coming in until like the later part of the season, which is around the Decembers and the Septembers and the October and all that stuff, right? November's the birds month. So that's when the hurricanes really start coming in. But better late than never, right? So make sure you got a go bag. These are things that you can put in your go bag. Your medicine. Make sure you get your medicine, okay? And copies of your prescription. Now, here's what I want to add to that I've learned today. If you're on medication, folks, we don't know how long you're going to be away from home. You need to contact your doctor and tell your doctor that you're in an evacuation zone and you may have to get extra medicine to take with you because you don't know when you'll be coming back home. So call your doctor, ask them, is it okay for another prescription for another half of what you already got? So that if you run out or if you're running low, tell your doctor to send you another prescription so you can have another full bottle or whatever medication that you have, so that while you're away, you can stay up on your medicine. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you guys. Non-perishable foods. You guys already know that. Okay. Stay on top of your non-perishable foods. And I want to add to that. Okay, they do have this here. Several gallons of drinking water. I would say 1 gallon per person per day. 1 gallon of water per person per day. Because if you got 3 people in your household, that's 3 gallons of water, okay, today, per day, okay? Let's see. Nuri just mentioned something. Good point. Patients can get a 90-day supply. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to know, Nuri. Thank you. Thank you. Nuri comes from a hospital, a Tampa General Hospital. So that's good information to know. And I'm glad I posted that up so that people watching this video later can see that. So make sure, folks, you already can get 90-day supply. So that's good. But check anyway. Always, this is your health. This is your life. Check anyway. Okay. Let the doctor know that this is what you want. This is what you're going to need. Okay. So make sure you're on top of that, folks. Your medication is important. All right. Special dietary food that is non-perishable. You guys know what that is. Okay. Now, here's another important part. Bedding. You don't know where you're going to go. Let's just say you're going to call your family. Let's just say your family is your place to go, right? Let's say your family is your place to go. Let me show. Am I centered? All right, there we go. Let's say your family is your place to go. Relatives. Call ahead and ask them, where could you put your vehicle? Is it room for your vehicle, and is it room for you or whoever you have with you in your household? Go ahead of time and get you some air mattresses. Because if you're going to them for shelter, then most likely they'll have electricity. Okay. Go to them and make sure that they have, you can blow up your air mattresses to sleep there during the time that you have during your evacuation time from this hurricane. Also, remember this, folks. Your cell phone probably is going to be off if a hurricane do strike, because it's going to strike the towers, the cell phone towers. So make sure you have a way of communicating to them. I don't know if you got a satellite phone or you can find your phone booth. They don't do phone booths no more, but look for a place where you can use a landline. If you're traveling, make sure you can get to a phone in the store. If you're driving, make sure you're a rest stop or a store or whatever. Ask them if you can use their phone to call your family because you are in an evacuation zone. I'm pretty sure they'll help you out and they'll allow you to use their phone. Okay, so your cell phone is probably going to be out if a hurricane hit. So you want to try to evacuate and make sure you're in your safe haven before that hurricane come to that evacuation zone. All right, make sure your cell phones are fully charged. Keep a good charger in your car, in your vehicle. All right, keep a charger in your vehicle. While you're traveling, keep your phone on the charger. Don't just have your phone off the charger. Discharging while you're driving. Also, if you're not the only person in your car, have somebody else to worry about text messages and things like that, because you're going to have an extra amount of people than normal on the road trying to do what you're doing. You are going to have to be extra careful and have to be totally focused on the road while you're driving. Do not be texting and driving on the road when you got the roads crowded. It's going to be easy to hit someone. And it's going to be easy for someone to hit you, even if it's not your fault. If you're not on your phone, you could have avoided them hitting you, even if it's not your fault. So you don't want to get into an accident, whether it's your fault or their fault. So keep your eyes on the road. Do not be all in your cell phone. All right. Infant and child necessities, wipes, diapers, bottles. You got to double up on that stuff, because kids eat more frequently than we do as adults. Keep an extra supply of bottled formula, Pampers. You guys understand what I'm saying. The wipes. You guys get it. Then keep some other keep. I know I said 1 gallon per person per day. If you have a child, you need extra amounts of water because if you're on the move and you don't have access to water to clean your child, you got to have extra amounts of water for that. Okay, so make sure you got that. Personal hygiene items. Personal hygiene items. Keep your ass clean. Get you some other one. Get you some extra wipes. If you start to get sweaty, guess what? You got some wipes. Go to the local restroom at a trust stop. Take the wipes in there with you. Clean your under your arms, wipe your ass, your nuts, all that. You got to clean all of that, folks. This is hot. It's hot out here. It's like 90 something degrees, especially if you're down here in Florida. It's baking out there. You got to clean that stuff. You got to keep it clean. Okay. Deodorant, and I recommend some body spray. I recommend some body. I recommend some body spray. Okay, keep you some body spray with you. They got Axe body spray. Some people are a fan of it. Some people aren't. Keep you some Axe body spray on it. Also, a good amount of change of clothes. I would say probably 2 outfits. Why? Because you're not going to be able to carry like you're going on vacation. It's not a vacation, folks, especially if you got your family with you. Keep you at least two outfits, 4 clothes outfits with you. All right. Make sure you got your eyeglasses. If you have to wear eyeglasses, keep them with you at all times. As a matter of fact, if you know that there's a hurricane season, that'd be the first thing to put in your car. Put your eyeglasses in your car because a lot of people walk out and leave their eyeglasses. Okay, make sure you do that, folks. You got to make sure you do that. Now, here's something that might not be important to some, but I think is important. Take you some things like quiet games to play. Because if you have to go to a shelter, if you're not traveling, you have to go to a shelter, guess what? Take some time to play your game because people are just going to be sitting around just waiting for a storm to pass over. They're going to be bored as hell. Take something with you, a game. If they got electricity in there, hey, you may be able to use the charger there, plug up so you can get on your phone and play a little games or something like that. But take a game like Connect 4. Take a little board games, toys for the young people in your family, reading materials. That'll be a good time for you to get up on your knowledge, on whatever it is that you want to get knowledge in. You're a computer guy like me, read a book on 5G. I got a 5G book in it. I might be reading up on the Millionaire Next Door. That's another book I have. Read up, take some time to do a lot of stuff that's important to the mind that you don't get to do much of any other time. So that'll be a good time to catch up on a lot of knowledge, get you something to read. Important papers. You need your paperwork. Take your paperwork with you, your ID. Take your passport. Your passport takes you a long way. Your passport takes you a lot. Actually, it takes you a lot further than your ID. Okay. So take your important papers with you. Important papers got to go with you, right? Don't forget all that stuff. Get you an amount of cash. Get you a good amount of cash on hand. You might not be able to get to an ATM machine because if you in a hurricane zone, the banks may be shut down. The ATMs may be shut down. I feel like I got to sneeze. Excuse me, folks. So ATMs may be shut down. Power outages. So ATMs are not working. Keep your amount of cash on hand. If your bank is in the area where there's a hurricane, if the bank has a power outage, the servers that the bank uses may have a power outage. So your credit card might not even work unless your bank expands all the way up in the north where your card can still be recognized by your bank. You guys understand what I'm saying? Thank you very much, Nuri. I appreciate it. I know I felt that sneeze coming. I just didn't know when. So So that's something that you want to think about. Now, here's what I recommend. I recommend you get, you guys know those little plastic containers. They're like yay big, some plastic containers. Get you one of those and put all of your hurricane preparedness items in it. Okay. Flashlight. Forgive me for forgetting about flashlight. Okay. Get you a flashlight, folks. Make sure you got enough batteries for your flashlight. Stock up on batteries. Put those batteries in that container I told you about. Put the flashlight. Now, every so often, grab the flashlight and mess around with it. Make sure it still works. Make sure the battery is, because you haven't used it for so long, the battery start corroding in it. Make sure that don't happen. Play around with your flashlight. Now keep your little radio. Keep your little radio. I watched a commercial. Forgive me, I don't remember the name of it, but you can probably Google it. But there's a radio that operates off of itself. It doesn't require batteries. I would highly recommend to get online and Google radio that don't need batteries. It'll probably come up. Okay, so look that up. Make sure you keep a radio with you so you can be up on the weather, on the updates. Okay, I do have some other information I want you guys to know about. Let's see. I hope this is helpful to you guys, man. I really wanted to make sure I get the time to share this stuff with you. Okay. Now, before I get to this, I want to share a couple of other things on this one first. So that's your go bag. Your go bag is not that big container that I told you to put all your information, all your stuff in. That container might be too big for you to carry around with you. Your go bag can be filled with the things that you put in that big container. Okay. So make sure, if that container can fit in your trunk, take the container. Okay. Now, before you leave, before you evacuate, turn off all your power. All your power. And I say turn off the power, I don't mean go around hitting all the switches. Go to your circuit box and hit the main power, the main switch in your circuit box. Kill it, okay, until you get back. Because you don't want a possible fire. You come back and your house been on fire due to this hurricane. You don't want that. I know someone personally down in Lake Charles, Louisiana. She went back to her home and her home looked like a missile hit it. Turn off your power, your circuit breaker, the main switch in your circuit breaker. Hope this making sense, folks. Now, turn off the gas. If you got gas, turn it off. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. I don't know where the main gas switch is. I'm not familiar with how gas works, but if there's a main gas switch in your house, turn it off. Okay. Let's see. Turn off the water. Turn the water off as well. Lock your doors, lock your windows. Now, if you got shutters, some people in Florida got those hurricane shutters, but they just pull it down over their windows. Do that. If you feel like you need to board up your windows, do that too. Board them up if you want. Nail them around the window. I feel you can do that as well. Fill up your gas tank. You want your gas tank on full. Get you a full gas tank and get you a gas can. Fill up your gas tank and get you a gas can. And then I'm not telling you to fill up the gas can, but you might have to fill it up if you find that your gas is getting low. You see what I'm saying? You make the judgment on that, but get you a gas can. If your gas can is one of those ones that really seals the gas in, where you don't smell the gas through the gas can, if you don't smell it, then you can go ahead and fill it up. Take it with you. All right. You never know. You might have to use that gas can to pull gas in your car. All right, but fill up your tank. That filling up your tank should be enough, but have a gas can handy. Okay. Um, Advise your friends or relatives of where you're going. Now, if you're not going to your relative's house or your friend's house, if you're going to a particular shelter, you have a evacuation location, let your family know. Hey, I'm evacuating. This is where we are ordered to go. Let your family know where you're going. Why? Because cell phones might be turned off due to the towers being messed up. And after the hurricane, it's not going to just come back on. If the towers may need to be repaired. So if your family needs to find you, they know where to come look for you. You guys understand? I hope this is making sense, right? So make sure your family know where you're going. If you're not going to travel to them, you're going to evacuate. All right. Let's see. Staying safe. Test your hurricane preparedness. Now, here's the thing, folks. I'm going to read something I learned today. It says, number one, you only need a hurricane safety plan if you reside in the area at risk for hurricanes and hurricane related damages. All right. So make sure you guys understand that. Got it? Okay. Next one. Hold on a second, folks. Yeah. Next, you find out your community's hurricane response plan includes evacuation. What should you do? What you should do is create an evacuation plan with other members of your household. Make sure you do that, folks. Create an evacuation plan. Now, if where you are told to go in case of an evacuation, if that's not where you want to go somewhere else, you need to create a plan with your family members, your household ahead of time, a year, and make sure that is the thing that you do every single hurricane preparedness season. Okay? Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Okay? All right. Number three says the National Weather Service issues an alert for your area, but you don't know if it's a hurricane watch or a hurricane warning. You should find out anyway. Find out anyway. Remember that number I told you guys to look for in the beginning of this video? I don't care where you are, up and down this East Coast. I don't care if you're up in New York, Washington, D.C., all of you are still on the Atlantic coast. So find out what the warning is. Is it a watch or a warning? Okay. And I got something to help you with that too. But so I'm going to come back to this after I finish the rest of these. And I don't have fun. It's not a lot. This is very short. Also know a category 5 hurricanes are only ones you really need to know about. That's false. You need to hear about a hurricane 1. You guys understand what I'm saying? Because I mentioned earlier, a hurricane 1 is enough to knock a tree branch off a tree and fall right onto your house, fall on you, fall on your car. Okay. So any hurricane level, all right, any hurricane category. All right. What is a storm surge? What is a storm surge? Storm surge is the rise in seawater level caused by a hurricane or other storm. So Florida is like 98 feet above sea level. So seawater level comes up, that's a surge. So we have to be very, very mindful of these evacuation zones. That's what I tell you guys. That's important to find out what evacuation zone you live in. Is very important. Find out what zone you live in and find out where you need to go. All right. This is a true or false. Mobile homes provide adequate protection from hurricanes. False. Hell no. You live in a mobile home, You got a hurricane warning, get out. Don't wait for them to tell you got to go. Get out. Okay. Um, Now here's a good one for you guys, and this is really good for those up north, so like New York, Washington D.C., New Jersey, and everything, Philly. What is the major threat for hurricanes? What is the major threat from hurricanes for people living inland? See, remember, it's not just the people who live on the water. What is the major threat from hurricanes for people living inland? Flooding. Flooding. Now, if you live in Florida, let's say, now, prime example. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Nuri. Now, you live inland. Now, let me talk about Florida and Louisiana for a second. Went to the Busch Gardens about 2 weeks ago, and found that Florida had like 1.2 million alligators. And people don't be in and didn't know until then that Louisiana has more alligators than Florida. Louisiana is around 2 million alligators. Now, let me share something with you. Sea level may rise, but there are also a lot of fresh water in Florida and Louisiana. You got lakes and ponds, right? You have lakes and ponds. Those levels also rise. You guys understand what I'm saying? It's not just the ocean. It's not just the salt water that rising. Fresh water rise too. And when fresh water rise and it start going down the street, floating down the street, guess what else is floating down the street? Alligators. I want you guys to take a look at this movie called Crawl. That movie was made in Florida. It's a Florida-based movie where a terrible hurricane came and floods came, and alligators was in the basement of this man. But I didn't know that some homes in Florida have basements. But this man, it was in Florida, he had a basement. So, and the alligators was like in his man's basement. You guys understand what I'm saying? And people was coming to try to rescue them inside their house, and they got killed. Alligators killed them before they can come rescue these people. So increasing the sea level, also increasing the freshwater level. So freshwater level is flowing over into the streets, down the streets and close to your home. That's why you need to get the heck up out of there, because you coming out of your house and it's flooded up to your water, up to your door, an alligator could be sitting right there trying to snap at your leg. Okay. So floods, if you're inland, you might not have the ocean, but you got fresh water. If you're in Louisiana and Florida, if fresh water rises, that means alligators is also coming down the street underwater. Okay. So when you riding around in those boats, I wouldn't suggest riding around in those boats, because the real small boats people be having, some of them be having canoes. Man, I'm telling you, it be alligators in the waters, folks. Now up in New York and DC, you don't have that problem, but floods are still dangerous. Okay. The next one says hurricane safety and an emergency kit go hand in hand. What do you need in yours? Water, that's one. I mentioned that. Food, non-perishables, I mentioned that. Emergency contact information. I did tell you to make sure you contact your relatives, right? Your medication, okay? Important documents like birth certificate, passport. Remember I said passport, social security cards, and other personal documents. So I went over all of that. So the answer to that is all of the above. All right. This is a true or false question. As long as you have a cell phone, you'll be able to communicate with family. False. Because during the hurricane season, folks, during a hurricane hit, those cell towers are going down. That means you have no signal on your phone. You can't call nobody. That's why it's best that you call them, let you know where you're going to be if you're not traveling to them. So make sure they know where you are. before the hurricane touch your area. Okay, the last one, the hurricane is over. You should do these. This is all of the above. So I'm gonna read them off to you. Let loved ones know you're safe. Number one. Continue listening to the news, local news, and for instructions and the latest information. So continue to listen to the news, your weather. You got your weather radio or your radio with battery or your radio with no batteries needed that I told you about. Keep them on. Keep listening to them so you can get some more information and updates and more instructions. Okay. Return home once authorities say it's safe. You got to understand the authorities have to inspect the area before they allow people to come back to it. Okay. They may have dead bodies. You know, some people don't like to leave their home. It could be some dead bodies laying out in the street. They don't want you to see that. Come home and you have to drive around that, or you know what I'm saying? They don't want you to see that, folks. So they got to clean the area. They got to inspect it, clean it, make sure there are no people who were unfortunate survivors. Yeah, people who didn't survive. So they got to make sure of that kind of stuff, right? All right. So they got to inspect it, just like building a house. When you have a house built, they don't just finish the house and then you just go move in. They got to go through so many. They got to pass so many different codes before they allow you in that house, right? They have to inspect it. They have to do the fire department have to inspect. Got to get involved. The health department, all kind of people have to inspect this house before you move in. Before they deem it safe for you to move in it. Okay. Something I wanted to mention, you guys. Okay, remember I told you predict, prepare, and persevere. I'm going to show you a tool that I've had since Hurricane Irma. And I'm going to share my screen on something. I want you guys to visit this website. I'm going to show you a website, and you can also download this app onto your phone. At any given time, you can always get onto this app because you'll be able to find a hurricane before the news even tell you about it with this app, okay? Now, I'm going to share with you right quick. Here we go. I want you to take a look at this. This is called Ventusky. Some of you may have seen this before. I'm going to get my face out the screen so you can see the full website. Ventusky. I want you guys to take a look at that. This is the United States, of course, and I'm gonna zoom down here. I'm gonna scroll, and I'm gonna zoom into Florida. Okay. And you guys see this out here? You see this out here where I'm circling? You guys see this out here where I'm circling, right? Out here, it's telling you, you put your mouse over it. It shows you the temperature is 81 degrees in this area. And then you got 30, it looks like it might be 30.2 miles per hour. And if you guys see this is already in a swirl. You guys understand this? You see where my mouse is? You see this little circle right here? Let me zoom in on this a little bit more. I'm gonna scroll over here to it. I want you guys to check this out. You guys see that little swirl? This little swirl, if this swirl goes any faster, the way you see my mouse is, right? If this swirl right here goes any faster, it'll become a tropical storm. If it goes faster than that, it'll become an hurricane. You guys understand what I'm saying? So take a look at this stuff. This is out here in the Atlantic. Let's zoom back out. So you see the swirl right here. Now, if you look under here, this is the Gulf of Mexico down here, right on the left-hand side of Florida. Now, let me show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys something. When people say something like, "Oh man, those hurricanes, man, y'all gotta be careful, man, them hurricanes." Let me tell you something. Those hurricanes don't hit Tampa Bay area that much. I'm gonna show you why. If you take a look at the state of Florida, are you guys following me? I'll make sure I got this. That look might be a little bit of a delay between me and you guys. If you look at the state of Florida, this is the whole state of Florida right here I'm showing you. Let's see. Hold on, folks. Okay. Got a little bit of delay here. All right, you see this? You see this area right here? Hold tight. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right. Well, it's kind of blurry. It's too big of a delay, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to talk through it instead. Okay, I'm just going to talk through it instead, folks. So don't worry about it. I got you covered. Hold tight. Hold tight, folks. Coming right back. Hold tight. Okay. I'm just going to talk you guys through it. Technical stuff is going on all over the place, folks. Oh my goodness, man! I'm telling you, this is crazy. It's crazy. So, what I want to tell you guys is, if you look at Florida, you have the east coast of Florida, you have the west coast of Florida. In the Tampa Bay area, we're on the west coast of Florida. So, if imagine my body being Florida, over there is the east coast. Over here is the west coast. That's the Atlantic over there. Over here is the Gulf of Mexico. Now, on this side of Florida, there's an armpit, right? There's an armpit. This armpit is where the Tampa Bay area is. Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater. So the hurricanes don't hit up in here much. So when people tell me before I moved here, "Oh man, there's a lot of hurricanes," I said, "No, not in Tampa." Now, that doesn't. I'm not saying it's never going to happen or it never happened. Tampa have been hit with hurricanes in the past. The point that I'm making with you is we're not as exposed to it as the other parts of Florida. So if you think about DC, DC gets hits too. The same way DC get hit normally. Heavy rains, branches of trees fall or whatever, that happens in Tampa. We don't get hit like Miami get hit. Jacksonville get hit. Going up that Atlantic coast, we don't get hit like that. We don't even get hit like Georgia be getting hit. The Carolinas. Normally those hurricanes start to fade off when they start hitting the Carolinas. Some of them are strong enough to go all the way up to New York, right? Some of them are strong enough to hit Carolina and go in effects up into DC. So with that being said, folks, just know, I hope I gave you guys some helpful information. I'm not gonna keep you guys long. Anybody want to add anything? If did I leave out anything? Because I'm not a Floridian. I've been here 8 years. But those of you who have been here all your life, please let me know if I missed anything, because it's very important that the people know. All right. So if I missed anything, please let me know if I missed anything. If you got anything that you want to add, feel free to take this short, quick time before we close out of here. Before we, so that everybody can know what the deal is. You're very welcome, Tink. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. The blue is true. The blue is true. But I really appreciate you guys coming in. I want you guys to do me 4 favors. 4 favors. I used to ask for 3, but now it's 4. Number 1, turn those damn TVs off, except for hurricane information. All right, Neri just mentioned something. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Mary. I really appreciate you stopping in. You're very welcome. Number 1, turn those TVs off unless it's something very, very important, like an emergency for hurricane awareness, things like that. But you can get that on your phone. We get alerts on our phone for hurricane stuff, so pay attention to that. So turn the TV off. Why until you turn off the TV? Because it's killing your inspiration. It's killing your ability to learn and learn more and grow. Okay. The mainstream media outside the weather, mainstream media is mostly lies. 98% of it is BS. Okay. Learn to read, do some research outside of the media. If the media told you the truth, they wouldn't be needed. So you're gonna have to pick some books up. You're gonna have to read. You're gonna have to go to the library. You're gonna have to do some research. You're gonna have to get on some different platforms other than Facebook and Twitter, right? To find out a lot of truth. If the media is telling you something, right? If the media is telling you something, I highly recommend you to start researching the opposite. Because there's always, my mom used to say, no matter how flat you cook a pancake, it always has 2 sides, right? Good to see you, brother Mo Gentry, the best sound man in the business up in DC and the DMV, folks. Got to get you down here, man. So with that being said, folks, number 3, the 3rd favor I want to ask from you is to share the video. Please share the video. Share, share, share. Now, if this video wasn't for you, that's fine. It's not for everybody. Hell, I don't eat pork, and Dan don't eat chitlins. So that might be for you, but that ain't for me. But guess what? If somebody gave me chitlins and I know I don't eat it, and I know you eat it, I'll say, hey man, here's some chitlins. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about me. It's about who needs it, who wants it. So no, thank you. Here you go. Pass it on. If it's not for you, give it to somebody you know this video can help, if that makes sense. Don't make it about yourself. Like the video too, folks. Let's get the likes up while we at it. Get these likes up. Come on, folks. Get the likes up. YouTube, thank you guys for coming in. Twitch, I want to thank you guys for coming in as well as LinkedIn. So with that, please share the video, even if it's not for you. 3rd, what is the 3rd one? 3rd one is, you guys see on the bottom of my screen scrolling, you see all my social media platform names there. And now I'm on TikTok, J Hunter Lee on TikTok, folks. So I just now opened that account up about a week ago. So I'm now on TikTok. So I need to add that down into that list you see. But more importantly, you see where I say Cash App. It says $ J Hunter Lee. Why do I'm talking to you about my Cash App? Because I only ask for a $20 or less donation. It's not for me in my pockets. I'm good with money. I'm okay, right? I'm okay with money. The podcast needs it more than me, okay? I got a light here, got my camera there, got my laptop down here, and I have a tablet over here. Who knows? Stuff might start bearing out on me. I might need to replace it. You guys remember that window that used to be behind me? It ain't here no more. Now I got a banner. It cost me about $300 for this banner with the stands and everything, having it made and everything. $80 of that came from your donations. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so that's all it's for. It's for the equipment. It's for the podcast. It's for to help continue to bring information to you guys because we're all in this together. Okay, so that's all it's for. If you donate more than $20, I'm gonna return it. I'm gonna reject it because I'm a very transparent guy, and I did not ask for anything over $20. I said $20 or less. Is that fair? Okay, that's fair. That's integrity. That's honesty. That's transparency. So, my fourth favor is the biggest of all. You want me to tell you what the fourth one is? The fourth favor is to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Hunter Lee, and all of you are here with me this evening. And shout out to all of you. And I love you, and the world needs you. And it ain't nothing you can do about that. So stop that damn texting and drive. Peace and blessings, people. Have a great day.